Baby, you don't know what you do to me. Between me and you, I feel a chemistry. I won't let no one come and take your place, 'cause the love you give.
Hi everyone, it's your girl Marcella and we are back with another episode on Bossedup Foundation. This time we are at Flow 98.7 and we're going to get to you guys with a great interview, so stay tuned for that, okay guys? Hi everyone, we are here with episode 4 and we are going to be introducing, I guess that we have today, our general manager from Flow 98.7, Gary Hunter, with us today. And we just want to introduce him, and you can introduce yourself quickly.
Okay, hello. My name is Gary Gunter at Flow 98.7. I'm so glad to be a part of the podcast today. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And first, we just want to thank you for being a part of our podcast and making sure that you are on, on our segment. We really want to appreciate you and thank you for everything that you're doing. And we just want to thank you greatly for this episode.
Okay.
So first, we just wanted to get into a little bit of a background of how you got to this point right here.
Oh, okay. Originally, I'm from Chicago. So started in the business. Well, went to school, got a degree for radio and television, and been doing it for the last 28 years. Okay. Moved around to different cities in the United States and different companies doing radio, climbing up the corporate ladder. Until I got to the general manager point of the highest portion in the radio station. I was offered an opportunity to come to Canada, Toronto, because of my background and all of my experiences with black radio stations and running urban, as we call them, urban formatted radio stations. So I was recruited by an international recruiter to come and consider running G 98, which is originally what I was hired for, and then we ended up, making the name switch to Flow.
Because I did do a little background history of you, and I've seen all the radio stations that you've been doing so far, and I noticed that, like you said, you focus on urban. So why urban, or the black community?
Because that's what I'm built from. What I enjoy doing is having being involved with growing my community, giving back to my community, providing a platform of information and engagement for people of color to be able to thrive and to grow and learn and do well with, right? So I enjoy giving back on that aspect, but just enjoy, the music that's involved with that format as well,
Yeah, I agree, because that's what we commend you for as well, and we feel like the way that you support the black community is very much needed in Toronto. And I feel like with your experience that you've had so far, it's like probably the perfect fit to have you here. So we also want to ask you, what kind of differences do you see with the Toronto scene and the Chicago scene? Within the radio, the music, and everything. What's the difference that you kind of see?
Well, they say that Toronto is a mini Chicago. So, I mean, you still have a cosmopolitan type of feel, big city type of feel.
Yes.
But, I mean, Chicago is much larger and just a lot more to do, a lot of, it's a much larger black culture, because I think the percentage of blacks here in Toronto is like 9%, and in Chicago it's more like 20-something%, right? Yeah. So there's a lot more to do, a lot more involvement with the black community in Chicago, but pretty much everything, the likes, the wants, the needs of the black community are all the same.
Very similar.
Yeah, very similar. But it's good, to be here where you don't have to always have your head on a swivel,
Yeah. I can
like in Chicago.
Yeah, I understand.
But no, it's I love Chicago. It's my home, and but I'm enjoying my second home, Toronto, right now.
I hope you are, because we're definitely glad to have you here. And I also want to ask, what is a highlight, if you could pick one, from your experience so far in radio? What is a major highlight that you have so far?
Man, I've had a few, but I guess it goes along with different stages in my career. At the beginning, just meeting people, like meeting Michael Jackson, meeting Janet Jackson, meeting Prince, meeting all these big stars, singers and artists, as a younger person in the business. And then just starting to get promoted to different big positions and moving to different cities to take on bigger assignments and bigger tasks. So I just guess, different stages provide different excitements, opportunities, and different things.
And as you're going through these different stages, different emotions, were you feeling overwhelmed? Were you excited? Did you feel like you were deserving? Like, how are your emotions during that?
Well, at that moment you feel like, wow, I gotta, step it up.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean? But just to be in that position, that makes you feel qualified.
Exactly.
So I prepared for this.
That's a great comment right there. And one thing I wanted to ask you, if you had one advice, because most of my viewers that I have are youth and young viewers, if you had advice to give them on their journey in doing whatever they wanted to do, what's one piece of advice that you'd like to give?
I would tell them to not accept no for an answer. I mean, no for me, and even in the business that I'm in right now, as it relates with clients and things of that nature, no just means not right now.
Exactly.
So if you have a dream, if you have a goal, don't let anyone, get in front of that goal and stop you from getting there by, hating on you or giving you some misinformation or just not wanting you to succeed, because you never know, people that smile on your face may be dogging you out behind your back. You know what I mean? So you just got to be able to understand that nobody's going to love you like you love yourself.
Exactly.
And you got to stay true to that and stay true to what you believe in and just continue to go after your dreams, because, you can have a bad day today, but tomorrow can be the best day of your life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's just about living each day to the fullest, and you never know what can happen in life.
Exactly. So I think it's really important for my youth and my viewers to see mentors like yourself, because in the community, I really feel like we need more positive influencers, and in different fields. So like someone in radio, someone in like different industries that they can look up to and that they can find guidance in. Because I met you at a different event through someone else, and I didn't know today that I'd be sitting here doing an interview with you. So it's like, you shoot your shot, and eventually you manifest things to happen. So I really commend you for actually coming out and doing the show with me, and as well as the advice that you have for the youth.
Well, that's interesting you said, shoot your shot. I mean, there's a little saying that I say is that, you never get a chance to make the shots you don't take.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So that's a true statement right there. Okay. So I also wanted to get into the name change, right? So can you talk a little bit about that and how that went, and kind of like the direction that you guys are moving forward with Flow now? Okay.
Well, I mean, we were approached by the owners of the old Flow, 93.5, about, taking the name Flow and bringing it over to 98.7, and the ownership felt that if the brand Flow had a lot of, revenue generating opportunities tied to it, right? So we were considering changing from G anyway to another name, so we figured with a name that's already known, already has a large following, larger than G, we could take that name, put it on the format that we want to create, which is hip-hop and R&B, because the previous one was just hip-hop.
Yeah, exactly.
And with the R&B, we can include the soca, the Caribbean, the African music and things of that nature, and still be true to G, but with a bigger brand, which is more attractive to the younger demographic as well, so it helps us to grow.
Exactly.
So, everybody didn't love it, but I think over time, as people listen to it, they can kind of get a feel for what the vibe is going to be, and they can get to love it. You know what I mean? So it seems to have worked out pretty well so far.
I agree, because in the beginning, I was hearing the feedback too, oh my God, Flow is ending, I can't believe it, and everyone was kind of upset, but I was kind of give it a chance and listen to it. And to be honest, the first week when you guys popped out everything, I enjoyed it, to be very honest. The only thing you just have to get adjusted to is finding out which segment worked for you and what time it was on. So that's the only adjustment I would feel like it would change. But is there anything that you guys feel like in the future with host or anybody else that you guys, segments that you guys think that you guys would like to add? Because I know at one point in time at Flow they were doing an entrepreneur segment. Is that something that you guys see doing at G?
Well, we are, I've always had some sort of show that spotlights and puts a shine on local artists, independent artists, so that's something that we're probably going to be bringing back. I'm trying not to make it like a community sound station like G did, where you got sports 1 hour, and you got
It's
you know, basket weaving another hour, and the cooking show another hour. So I'm bringing it to where it's a real radio station.
I agree.
You know what I mean? From start to finish.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with that.
You know, we got quality shows from start to finish. We got a morning show with the morning flavor with Red and Jay Martin. That's off the chain. Midday, we just go pretty much music consistently. In the afternoon with Specs. Then we come back with Links, who we brought from Flow 93. And then I always want to have a nice little wind down slow music type of show that we have in the evenings with Gina Lee. So, and then on the weekends we turn up again. I've hired a couple of new people to do the weekend slots with Celebrity Drew, who's a well-known DJ personality here, and as well as Serenity, I'm sorry. And then on Sunday, I just totally turn it over to the Caribbean side. You know what I mean?
You covered it all, kind of. Yeah, you covered it all.
Rock and his show, and even have, you know, a gospel portion show as well on Sunday morning. So, you know, we pretty much are happy with the way things are going.
I haven't seen the gospel segment yet. I have to check it out.
Sunday
I haven't tried that one.
Yeah,
I have to try that.
I think it's 8 to 10.
Okay, so I just want to check that
You
one out.
might not be up there though. You probably hanging out with Blessing.
With my kids, I know, working overtime. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, along the journey too, I asked you about your highlight. What was what would I say? A hardship or something that you went through that was really difficult that you overcame?
In the business?
Yes, that you said that you overcame.
You know, in the States especially, and probably here as well, but I haven't been here long enough to talk about that as relates to Canada. But in the States, you know, the media business is pretty much run and directed by people of non-color.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So you run into a lot of instances where some things may look a little racially unjust. So, you know, it's a matter of just being able to navigate through that and being able to know when to say something, when not to say something. You know, it's very strategic in order to get to the top at a certain, you know, at a certain level on how you get there, you know, by playing your cards right, as they say, right? So I've been in some uncomfortable situations where I felt a certain way, I wasn't appreciated, I wasn't given a fair chance that somebody else, my peer, maybe have given that was white, you know what I mean? So but you live and you learn, so you take that all in, you see how it ended up, how it played, and that way if it happens again, you know how to play it better, you know what I mean? So that it works out for you. So far so good, but you know, we live another day.
And in regards to disadvantage, I know especially within the Toronto scene, it's hard for a lot of our mainstream or local artists to be played on the radio station due to like certain music and certain style that they do. For you guys here, how do you guys cope with that and find out which ones to play, which artists to play, which ones to pick? How do you guys deal with that?
Well, I mean, it's tough for independent artists, but I mean, you hear new artists every day.
Exactly.
So it's not that tough. And I think now that they have so many different platforms that they can get their music out with on Apple, Spotify, and all these other streaming services, it's a different way to be able to promote and market yourself. But for us specifically, we usually, you know, see what's hot on the Billboard charts.
I noticed,
Yeah, so we got our heart music. And then we want to look at Canadian artists as well, because we have to play a certain percentage of Canadian music as well as world beat and all that kind of stuff. But as far as local independent artists, you know, if we're getting like people calling in and saying, hey, you should be playing so-and-so, you know, if we're getting requests for that, then we'll definitely take a look at it. Take a look at this and at it. You know, if he's out in the streets, you know, we're definitely going to take a listen to it, because we want to make sure we're playing something that's hot and our listeners are going to want to hear it. You know?
Because I've seen you guys bring, I think it was Tia Banks on to your episode, and I thought it was really cool because a lot of people in the city know her, and she's very known with a lot of like, you know, underground people. So like to see her on a radio station like that, and then seeing you guys support her, I really feel like that's a good backing.
I mean, we had her. I mean, we had Mishi Meech. We had her on. She could send me an email today thanking me for letting her sit in on the station. So it's about having that local connection. You know what I mean? Roy Woods we had on. So. We definitely believe in our Canadian artists and up-and-coming artists that are trying to make it through, but you know, it's just hard to put everybody on, because everybody think they, you know, everybody think they the shit, right?
Exactly. No, it's true. It's true. Exactly. Because I was gonna say, for even us, we want to impact our Black community, so we try to bring on a lot of entrepreneurs, artists, anyone that's doing anything in the city. We try to support as well as youth. So like that's why I kind of like wanted to hear your feedback on like how do you guys cipher through and pick the people. But like you said, as long as people are giving feedback and tuning in, saying I want to hear this person, that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
So another question I wanted to ask. So for the impact, I know you guys are staying with Black urban and stuff like that, and that's your main focus. In the future, do you guys see yourself? I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it, but like branding off where it's not only about the Black community, or is that going to be your main focus? Cause I feel like a lot of them say that and then they'll
that's our focus. I mean, that's my whole experience in life is Black and urban. So for them to bring me on and pay me as much money they paying me is not to make it white station.
Exactly.
So that's where my expertise lies. So as of right now, today, and moving forward, as long as I'm here, we will continue to target and reach out to people of color.
We're glad to hear that, because we definitely need that type of support in the community.
Yeah, I mean, we're the only game in town now.
No, for real. You guys are right now, because we lost our other station right now. So right now, we're going strong with you guys. Let you guys hear, they're well-rounded over here, okay?
Oh, yeah. We're bringing the heat.
Okay.
The producer's in the other studio, and he's controlling on the board all of the sounds and aspects of the show. And then he would kind of direct us as to who talks first. You talk on that mic, you talk, and we go back and forth in here. Okay, so this is where the morning show takes place. When you have more than one person on the radio, they're in here. But when it's like one person on the mic doing their own show, they're on that side in there.
Okay, so right now we're going in.
And another woman that can take your spotlight.
Thank you.
Oh, so like when people want you to play their songs, like, do they have to pay?
No, they don't have to pay, but it has to be a good song.
Oh. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so that'll hold you guys over for a little bit.
Yes, that will.
All right. I'll be right back up there. Give me a moment.
Hey guys, today we are at Flow 98.7 for episode 4 with Drake on
Okay, so today we have RB, Roshane, and Gary. Wow. Okay.
So the question is, as a person who wants to start rapping, what do you recommend them to start with? As in career-wise, how would you be able to get the music on radio?
Well, I would say you want to just make sure that you practice your craft, that you try and get out as many platforms as possible, as much exposure as possible, because radio is the hardest thing to get your music on, right, by yourself. So the more you can put stuff out on Apple, on Spotify, on all the public platforms to get exposure, and then once the radio station starts getting calls of people from listeners calling and say, hey man, you gotta put this down, man, you gotta put this song on, this is hot, then we start listening a little more often. Now you can still send in your rap to the station, so I'm not saying don't do that, I'm just saying that you just want to make sure that you get it out as much as possible around the whole city, around the whole GTA, so you can get it out there. And then it also depends on if you want to go where you're looking to be signed by a label, or if you want to just do your own thing. There are two different routes you can take, depending on what you want to do. If you want to have more control over your music, over your situation without a label, or if you want to turn it over to a label with all the clout they may have to get you where you need to be faster, but then you know how that can turn out too. So
One more question.
that answer it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so thank you for watching episode 4 with Gary Hunter, and we thank you for everything that you've done in supporting our youth and myself, and we want to support you in your future endeavors moving forward.
Oh man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Marcella, for giving me the opportunity to be on your great platform. You got some great assistant workers with you, and it's been a pleasure to support you in all your endeavors too.
Thank you so much, Bill. Bye, guys.
See, all I want you to do is be my love. My love. My love. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. My love. My love. Ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love.